Hey, I'm FTFE, welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what the sound of Christmas music is going to do to your sanity over the next 30 days. Welcome back to the first show of December 2021. Where the hell has this year gone? Tonight we have a special one for you. We have a gentleman called the Gadget Guy, who's here representing Jake the asshole. He's going to present some of Jake's claims and some of his own claims about the Earth being flat. So let's just get straight into it. The Gadget Guy, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Oh, fine, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. I do appreciate you taking the time. Why don't you just spend a couple minutes, introduce yourself, and let people know your position on the shape of the Earth.
Okay, as the name suggested, I'm the Gadget Guy. Basically, you know, I really like gadgets. Gadgets are my passion, and also I'm a musician. I'm a drummer. I produce my own music. I sing, and I play instruments. And I'm very delighted to sort of like be on the show today. My position about the Earth being flat. Well, I first discovered that, you know, things weren't what they seemed quite a few years ago. I actually sort of like watched one flat Earth video. And then, you know, it seemed to me that, you know, we were actually being lied to about the actual shape of the Earth. So I continued watching, and it seemed evident that, you know, we didn't actually live on a globe.
Alrighty then.
But hopefully I'll be sort of like presenting evidence, and, you know, of my claims. And, yeah, just probably a short intro. So I'll probably hand it back to Craig.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thank you very much, the Gadget Guy. Evidence of your claim, which is fantastic, because that's what I always hope flat earthers bring, but unfortunately that never seems to be the case. So you're going to be presenting some of Jake's claims and your own, right?
Yes.
What do you want to start with? Because Jake is, I don't know whether he's too afraid to come and actually speak to me personally or what. Yeah, I think he's too busy fighting the flat Earth himself at the moment, which is nice. So what do you want to do first? Do you want to present some of Jake's claims before your own?
Actually, I'll go for my own claims first.
Okay.
And I'll probably like to even ask you a few questions as well.
Yeah, go
possible?
ahead. Yeah.
Cool.
Right, over to you.
Yeah,
do what you need to do. Let's get into it.
Okay, all right. Oh, well, you can see I'm on board the ISS.
CGI.
Hey,
up
it's
there.
not CGI, don't worry.
No, we wouldn't do CGI on this show.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, anyway, basically the Earth, from my gathering, we live on a stationary sort of like plane. Yeah, that's not moving, traveling thousands of miles around the sun. And I actually wanted to know what you actually thought of that, and if you actually had any evidence that we were actually traveling and moving.
Well, yeah, I say that we are on a rotating globe, and that's basically due to the empirical measurements of my claim. You know, it's pretty easy to actually measure the motion of the Earth. There's well, practically hundreds of ways that you can do it. You can do it with a bit of weight attached to a string, for instance, and you know, measure the Coriolis forces that show that the Earth is rotating. You can use fiber optic gyroscopes, like, you know, thanks Bob Nodell did. You know, you can measure the rotation based on the parallax measurements to luminaries in the sky. There's many ways to demonstrate that the Earth is in fact moving. So for me personally, I go with empirical measurements to back up my claims.
Empirical measurements. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I've actually never sort of experienced the Earth actually sort of like rotating at all. And even though you're claiming that all these measurements are possible, I don't know, like, I know you've heard this many times or thousands of times, but your senses are always the best way, you know, and the best way to actually detect things.
Bullshit.
All this motion that you're claiming has never ever been sort of like really detected, has it?
Well, yeah, it has been detected. That's how we can measure it. Do you mean detected by our bodies physically?
Yeah, by our physical, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Could you tell me which part of the body is capable of detecting a constant motion?
A constant, like, well, you know, when you go on a, let's say, a theme park ride, and
Yeah.
you know, you're sort of like on, let's say, a merry-go-round.
Yeah.
Obviously, your body will detect it, like that you're actually on a constant movement or a constant spin, let's say.
So, are you talking about like the the things that spin around and stick you to the outside?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So, what you're feeling in that case is something called centrifugal acceleration, which we do experience on Earth, and it actually makes a difference to our weight. Based on the amount that the Earth is spinning, the centrifugal acceleration it imparts actually makes us weigh about 0.05% less at the equator than it does at the poles. So, yeah, we do experience that rotation, that centrifugal acceleration. That we definitely do feel that because we physically weigh less at the equators than we do at the poles.
Okay, yeah, but we don't actually experience that on Earth, do we?
Yeah, we do, because you physically on Earth at the equator weigh less, and that's what we feel. The weight. That's how we tell what force is acting downwards on us, and you've got gravity acting downwards and centrifugal acceleration acting away from the center of the Earth. So at the equator, you've got that feeling of being pushed away, like you are on that merry-go-round. But because the Earth's rotating so slowly, it only equates to centrifugal acceleration that equals about 0.05% difference in our net weight.
Okay, because what you're saying, I've never actually experienced. I'm only going by my experience.
So what do you think you should experience?
Well, if you're claiming that the Earth is sort of like, rotating 1,000 miles an hour,
Rotating
then
1,000
you
miles an
should
hour?
actually experience that, shouldn't you?
Well,
You should actually, your whole sort of like body, like the merry-go-round, like you should sort of experience that sort of motion.
So the Earth isn't spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. The Earth is spinning at 0.000694 RPM. That's the speed of the Earth, right? We're not spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. You guys seem to get confused between rotational velocity and tangential velocity. You don't rotate in miles an hour. For instance, the engine of your car, that doesn't rotate in miles an hour. That rotates in RPM. Miles per hour is your straight line speed, and at the equator, that rotational velocity equates to about 1,040 miles per hour at the equator only in a tangential path. So the spin of the Earth is very, 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 very slow. That equates to about half the speed of an hour hand on a clock.
Okay. But you're claiming that the Earth is moving, but like nobody's actually, except for so-called astronauts. I won't even say astronauts, but nobody's actually seen the actual Earth move with their own eyes, have they?
It moves very, very, very slowly, so you'd have to stare at it for hours at a time from space to see it rotate. However, billions of people have seen that because, for instance, the TV network DirecTV, Dish Network, had a 24-hour live stream of the Earth from space for over a decade. There's you can get live video from Discover One at Lagrange point. You can look at Himawari 8, which takes images every 8 or 9 minutes and put them together in a time lapse and see the Earth rotate. So yeah, I'd say there's plenty of people that have seen the Earth rotate, but it's rotating so slowly, it's going to be quite a long time to actually watch anything happening.
Okay.
Have you got that video that we can see?
I'll probably have to. I don't have it with me right now.
I mean, I've seen all the people that say, "Oh, well, it was faked by looking through a black window, a circle window, blah blah blah." But
Yeah,
this is literally a picture of the entire Earth from space, with the diffusion of the Terminator line and everything that you would expect to see. And frankly, it's been analysed. This picture's been through forensic analysis by thousands and thousands of people, and no one has ever found any kind of fakery on this picture. Anyone that actually forensically and analyzes this picture professionally doesn't find that it's fake in any way. And there's actually simple forensic analysis tools online that you can use to look for fakery in photos. And this just wasn't fake. This is a real photo that was taken and developed in a darkroom.
Okay. Well, to really, so the only thing I'll say is I'll probably have to download an app to examine it forensically.
Yeah,
but,
I would suggest you do.
I can't really. Yeah. Because I can't really call it. I can't really say anything more because I don't actually, as you know, have proof that it's fake. So
yeah, and that's kind of my thing here, right? Is Jake the asshole, and all other flat earthers, they claim fake, but they've never got any evidence that it's fake. They just claim fake, and then when we say, well, have you got any evidence that it's fake? They just laugh at me and go, ha ha ha, have you got any evidence it's not? Well, I'm the one that's got the actual image, and you're the one that's claiming it's fake, so burden of proof kind of lies with you guys to prove that these are fake, and no one has ever proven that any of the images from NASA are fake. They just either misunderstand what they see or kind of deceptively edit videos and stuff.
Yeah, this is why, like, I normally, start questioning, what's been presented. Because obviously, if I don't have any evidence, then, I can't actually really claim that, it's. I can only suggest what may have been done or how it may have been faked. But obviously, I don't have any evidence to back that up. So you can see I'm quite honest already.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, CGI does exist, as Jake knows too well from watching my videos and not being able to figure out what is CGI. But just because CGI exists and just because fakery exists doesn't mean that everything you see is fake. And I'm not the kind of person that instantly goes, oh, well, that's fake, I don't believe it. Unless someone can show me evidence that something's fake, then I'm going to accept what I see.
Okay, actually that leads me to the Blue Origin video of William Shatner in space. Actually, there was one, let's say an object that was floating, and it literally disappeared.
Yeah, that object didn't disappear in the Blue Origin video. The object that you're talking about, that you see disappear, only disappears in Jake's video where he looped it. In the actual Blue Origin video, it doesn't disappear. And I don't know if that's deceptively edited by Jake on purpose, or whether people are just misunderstanding what they're seeing. But in the Blue Origin video itself, that floating object doesn't disappear. It's only during Jake's video that it does.
Ask you for evidence, if you have any evidence that that video that you're claiming from Jake was edited.
Yeah,
do you have the actual Blue Origin?
Well, I've got Jake's video where he is talking about it, playing it over. He's looped it, playing it over and over, and that's what we see.
Yeah, I've got that as well.
Yeah, and that's all it is. It's him looping it. There is, that's not what Blue Origin showed. That's just him looping the video, which you can see is the case.
But he got that from the news, didn't he? The news broadcast.
Yeah, and then he looped it himself.
Oh, so you're saying that he's the one that actually added that object himself? And
no, he didn't add the object. He looped the video that shows that that object apparently disappears. Let me bring this up.
That means the object actually disappeared on the Blue Origin video.
No, it didn't disappear on the Blue Origin video. It only disappears because Jake's cut the video and looped it. Let me show you. Here we go.
Okay, like, all right. Okay.
I think this is the right one. Right,
now
yeah.
ask
So
yourself.
this is Jake's video. Let me bring up the sound so we can see and hear.
Is that augmented virtual?
Oh, no, it's the one before that. Sorry, one sec. So we did 11.
Take a look to your right.
Yeah, so here we go. This is what Jake showed us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Right.
see it again.
Now, the object itself
And
isn't
a little
disappearing.
slower and
'Cause
closer
as
now.
you can see there, he's cutting the video and it disappears.
see it?
That's not Blue
Look
Origin.
again.
As you could see from William Shatner's head, you know, you see it kind of
And a little
cut away.
Let's see it
It,
again.
it's actually it's Jake's looped the video. It's not, you know,
and a little
it's not
slower
Blue
and
Origin.
closer now.
This is what Jake did.
Did you
Jake's
see
point
it?
here, I kind of think
Look
you've missed
again.
the point. Jake's point here was that that object looks dodgy and is augmented virtual reality, which isn't a thing. You either have AR or VR, not both. But Jake's point here wasn't that that object is disappearing, is that it looks
Now
dodgy
really,
and digitally
really
added.
slow. Pay very close
Okay, I see.
attention to what you are seeing.
Yeah. Which it kind of does to me. I don't know.
I mean, what you've got to understand here is that this is a very, very low quality video, possibly about 144p. You know, so it's going to look distorted, it's going to look digital, and the fact that it's floating around is unusual to our eyes. However, it's not any kind of digital deceptiveness on the part of Blue Origin. It's what you're seeing is Jake editing the video so that it's looped so that you can see that. Throughout the entire Blue Origin video, that object doesn't disappear, it's still there.
Oh, Jesus. No.
This is
Holy hell.
Can equal this.
Okay, I'll probably get back to him on that. Okay.
Like I said, I don't know if that's deceptively edited by Jake. I don't think it is. I think it's just Jake trying to put across the point of, ooh, look at this spinny thing. It looks weird. It's clearly augmented reality.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, there is plenty of times where we can see that the rockets have launched and watch it all the way from the ground up to space.
Yeah, because I was originally thinking like they weren't any, they actually didn't actually exist.
No, they do. You get told they don't exist by flat earthers because flat earthers don't want them to exist.
Okay.
I'm not bullshitting you, Gadget Guy. I'm not, all right? And I want to be dead honest with you here. You've been fooled.
Okay.
You've been lied to. You've been lied to by either people that are idiots or con men. It's as simple as that. I don't know about Jake, right? I'm not sure yet whether he is some kind of Poe or if he is as dumb as he genuinely appears to be. That's still out for debate
I
with
won't
me.
say.
I mean, come on, the guy accused... Did you see what he said? He accused me of having a full team of makeup people, and professional people, because I turned myself into an old man in a video I did about him. Yet that was actually basic CGI that I did, and he couldn't even notice what was CGI and claimed it was makeup and that I had a whole professional team. So either Jake's completely stupid, or he's a liar. It's one of the two.
Well, to be, I really don't know. Obviously, you're claiming like you don't have a huge CGI team behind you, backing you up, like doing your.
No, Jake seems to think
like
I do.
computer
I do
graphics.
all my CGI myself. The background behind us, I created that. The spinning globe with the name, I had help doing that, but then I finished it and tidied it up. And thank you, Stephen, for that, for helping me with that. But you know, all the intros, the intro you saw at the beginning, I created that. I do all my own CGI. I turn myself into an old man. I make myself into a girl and stuff. You know, I don't have a team.
Okay, like that's very impressive. Like, yeah, like, I'm actually very impressed with even your intros. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I taught myself to do all that. It's a lot of fun. I spend hours just mucking about with my editing software. I spent a lot of money on editing software, to be fair.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because even me, like I do sort of like editing. Basically, I have a whole channel like dedicated to my music where I sort of like do finger drumming, and yeah, and I do make my own videos, like edit them. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a musician as well. I don't know if you know, I was a guitar teacher back in the day.
Okay, you play guitar.
Yeah, anything with strings, really.
All right. Yeah, I don't even mind doing like a bit of a sort of like a jam because like you know I play the drums, but I play on my iPad, so finger drum.
Nice.
I do play the live kit as well.
I got to say, Jake's got some skills at bass. Jake, I know you're watching, by the way, and you can slap your bass, mate, honestly. If Jake dropped this whole flat earth being an asshole nonsense, he can sing and he's got some musical talent. He should work on that instead of the nonsense that he's doing right now. Although, actually, you know what, Jake can keep doing what he's doing right now because he's destroying flat earth more than I am. So, I'd like to show you a picture. And for me, this is one of the best bits of evidence that the Earth isn't flat. All right?
Okay, all right.
This is a picture from a video done by a friend of mine called Miles Davis. And it's taken in Fife, Scotland, where I live, literally just up the road. He's up a mountain called Terpenlaw, which is 210 meters above sea level. All right?
Okay, now you're not talking about Miles Davis, the actual musician.
No, not the jazz musician. No,
Okay.
just someone else who happens to be called Miles Davis. I've actually, one of the first CDs I ever bought was a Miles Davis collection. Would you believe?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I quite like jazz. Right, so the camera height in this picture is 210 meters above sea level. The bridges that you're looking at are the Forth rail and road bridges. In particular, the middle pillar there is of the Forth road bridge, and it is 210 meters according to the engineering specifications. The tip of it 210 meters above sea level. So you've got the camera at 210 meters above sea level, and you've got the tip of that pillar at 210 meters above sea level. So you've got a tangent line of sight there, right?
Yep.
Now, those hills in the distance, they are about 17 miles west of Edinburgh. And those hills in the background are 500 meters above sea level. 500 meters above sea level, which means that they are twice the height above sea level of both the camera and the tip of that pillar. However, if the Earth was flat and it's more than twice the height, those mountains could never, ever, ever appear below that red line, because perspective doesn't make things fall below your line of sight. It will make them shrink into, but never fall below. Which means that either the bottom of those mountains are missing, or you're looking at something which is over a curve. So,
Now, are you
again,
sure it's nothing to do with perspective? Like,
no, it can't be perspective, because perspective, like, you've got your line of sight. You've got your eye line, which is 210 meters, and you've got that line, red line there, which represents 210 meters on that pillar. If it was perspective makes things get smaller the further away they go, right? But that means that it would shrink into that red line and not drop below it. And to demonstrate this, I did a little experiment on my kitchen table. So, in this case, you've got the eye line, which is that yellow line there, right? And I mean, it's flipped based on compared to the mountain picture I was showing you, but it's the same concept. No matter how far away you move these things, they get smaller, but they will never go above that yellow line. They will always be at that yellow line, because perspective makes things appear smaller, but it doesn't make parallel lines cross. So no matter how far away these things get, they would never cross that yellow line. They would always shrink into it. And I give an excellent example of this in a second when I just use one and I move it backwards and forwards. Here we go. So I take this one on the right and I just move it backwards. And obviously you can see it appears to get smaller. Right? It looks like it's smaller, but we know it's not. It's still the same size. It just appears to be smaller.
These are small, but the ones out there are far away.
However, all it's done is shrink into that line of sight. It's never crossed it. It's never moved away from it. Right? It's shrunk into it. That's what we expect perspective to do. Yeah. So it's never gone above that yellow line. It's stayed relative to that yellow line, which is what we expect perspective to do. So in this case, perspective would cause the mountains to shrink in size, but always stay above that red line, because that's your line of sight. If it's dropped below it, that means that they are physically below it. And the only way that can be the case is if those mountains in the distance are over a curve. In the same video, he actually flips 180 degrees and shows the same thing with things looking the other way. And you've actually got some mountains that are over 1 kilometer that do the same thing. Perspective can't explain this because perspective does not make parallel lines intersect. The same way if you're looking at a railway going into the distance, they will appear to get closer together.
To converge.
Yeah, but they will never actually converge or cross because parallel lines don't intersect. So yeah, basically there's so many things that make flat Earth impossible. Photos, experiments, measurements, you know, the fact that we can measure the curve of the Earth. We can measure the rotation of the Earth. If we can measure those things, then they have to exist. But what there's never been, ever, is a measurement of stillness or flatness.
Okay, like, seriously, I'm going to have to look into that. Because I'm still not swayed with the globe. I'm not really ready to go back to the globe.
All I can ask is that you look into things yourself, right? That is what I want. I don't want you to just talk to me and go, oh yeah, I'm a glober now. I want to put that seed in your brain for you to go and look at things yourself. And if you are intellectually honest and you can look at things with an open mind, I mean, you can't ever look at things without a bias because everyone's got a bias. And right now you've got a bias towards the flat Earth, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't look at things with an open mind. It doesn't mean that you can't look at something from an outside perspective and try and ignore your bias, because your bias is always going to be there. But maybe your bias will change. It changed for Ranty, who was deep into flat Earth for many, many years. You know, I would say he was one of the leaders of the flat Earth community. You know, I debated him a couple of times and he had some really good arguments for the flat Earth that were quite hard to counter. But once he looked at these evidence that he himself gathered with an outside perspective, and once this picture was presented, which is one thing he's always asked for, which is showing that there is local curvature, he couldn't deny it to himself anymore. He couldn't lie to himself and just say, oh, well, it must be fake. Someone must have lied, like Gary Webenenga in the chat just did. The only explanation that Gary's got for the pictures that I just showed is that the person that made them was lying. That's the only way that flat earthers can make this not show that the Earth is a globe, is by claiming that the person that made them is a liar. But it's from a video that anyone can go and watch. And you know what? It's also from a place that anyone can go to and repeat the measurements and the observations themselves.
Actually, yeah, that's a key one. Like, being able to recreate the actual experiment. Because obviously, if I can do that, then you know that's going to prove whether the Earth is a globe or flat.
Well, try and find
yeah.
somewhere to you with something similar. You're bound to have bridges near you, and you're bound to have hills and stuff around. So try and make the same kind of observation. Try and find a place where you should see a particular thing, and go and see if you see that particular thing. It's the only way you're going to prove it to yourself. I can show you the evidence, I can show you the experiments, but I can't make you believe, because that's not my job. I would hope that the things I say to you allow you to go away and find the information yourself. And frankly, Gadget Guy, you are not a horrible person like most flat earthers tend to be.
Oh no, because I'm always a calm and collected person and patient,
And I appreciate
and I'm always
that.
willing to listen.
I do appreciate that. I really do. Okay. I mean, we've been going for about 2 hours now. Do you want to leave it there? Yeah, I know it's gone quick, eh?
That long. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to read super chats and stuff. You're welcome to hang around and answer them, and then have some final thoughts if you want.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So let me bring my super chats thing down. Give me one sec. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this discussion today. A non-dumpster fire, which is always nice. I don't think Jake's going to be happy.
Seems like I'd rather punch you in your stupid, ugly, fat soy boy face. Fight the fat ass.
And Daryl Jackson for $5. You went from a scheduled landfill fire to an actual conversation. I do like the actual conversations. They make me happy. Gadget Guy, I do want to say to you, thank you very, very much for being a decent person and having a decent conversation with me. Have you got any final thoughts that you'd like to put out?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to finish the debate with?
Yes. I'd just like to say that obviously, like I said, evidence is key. It's actually crucial.
Yeah.
So can't actually claim that you have certain knowledge or facts without the actual evidence to back it up. So that's always the key thing, because like I said, you can't actually send somebody or convict anybody without evidence. That's what even the court services are based on. So you need empirical evidence and empirical data to
I agree.
Yeah. So any sort of any claims you make, always have the evidence to back it up. So that's just my final thoughts for today.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for the debate.
Fight the flag, fight the flag, fight the flag, fight the flag.